Hello,
Hey,
welcome. I feel like it's been forever since I've done a webcast, especially one with my wonderful husband. Um, we're both very glad to be here tonight to welcome you. So, this is our last webcast of 2020,
that's it.
and our cats are fighting because they're so sad to see 2020 go, as I'm sure many of you are. But it's a extra special day for us today, and we're especially happy to be able to do this webcast on behalf of both Light Club Curiosity Shop and the Chakra Witch because it this particular day holds a very special day in our hearts. So,
This is the day
yeah,
where dreams have come true.
yes, absolutely. December 30th is very special in our personal history and the history of Light Club. So I'm gonna let my husband talk because he spins a yarn like no other. So I'm gonna let you take
So,
over.
I'm going to tell everybody a story, right? It's going to take a couple of minutes, but I want to say it because it worked for us. It could definitely work for you.
Yes.
It shows what magic is capable of: positivity, belief, feeling, focus, and it's all entwined here. So, if you just give me a couple of minutes, right? So, Melissa and I got married on Beltane on 2015, May 1st. Exactly 6 months later, we're walking around the Sugarloaf Fall Festival. We didn't have a business, we didn't have any plans. We were walking around checking things out. We loved it. We were teasing it. She's had the karate schools, I had art galleries. And we were wondering, like, oh, what if we had a business? What kind of business would it be? And together we're in love and we're happy. We want to, like, just overcome and take over the world. But concerning a business, it takes a lot of money and dedication and a plan. We had zero plan. So, go into this one place, and it was perfect. Had the natural lighting, the wood floors, and back rooms and side rooms, and it was just perfect. And it was right here in Sugarloaf.
Right on the main drag, which is rare.
And
Very
we're
rare.
walking around this. It was a bad art gallery, right? And we're like, well, what if we had a place like this? Look at this. Oh my God. Oh my God. We need something just like this. We love it.
I have this personal thing that whenever I walk into anything, like if it's an apartment or something I'm thinking about, if I can look around and know where my stuff's gonna go, I just feel like I belong there. And there was like a little back room
Oh, it was great.
for
It was great.
healing. There was a workshop room where you could you could
Everything
paint.
we needed or
It's
wanted
perfect.
or didn't know we needed or wanted, but it was there. So what happened was we're just in awe of this place. We love it. And we walk out and we talk to the guy who's running it and everything's cool and we're like, great shop. We're gonna see you again, we'll be back. And he's like, oh no. Today's my last day. I'm closing up. We're looking at each other like, oh, what the hell's going on here, right? So fast forward a couple of weeks. We decide to roll the dice. We had just enough money in the bank account for rent and security. I found the landlord. And what happened was, it was like November 1st, we signed the lease, right? Now you think, oh, that's great. You signed a lease. You can open a business. Great. Truth is, we didn't know what kind of business we were going to open.
No idea.
All we knew is that we
No idea.
had we had a storefront in Sugarloaf. Her and I separately through life, we've just loved Sugarloaf. But now, we had full time jobs. This was like the last thing on the list, but now all of a sudden it jumped to the forefront because this makes sense. But what are we going to do? So I was making some candles at home, and then later on, she would throw some potions in it. But the money we were making from those candles were enough to like hit the diner once in a while. It wasn't as serious.
We were doing it for
prospect.
fun.
Yeah,
We
yeah, it
weren't
was
really
great. It was good.
doing
It
it
was good.
for a business.
But now we have this storefront, and it's beautiful. We need products. We need something to sell. We need a counter, tables. We need a chair. We need at least 2 chairs. We need lights. We had nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
But of course, her and I, the focus is on. And it's just there. We're going. It just, sure enough, friends were coming through. You need a table? I got a chair. Do you need a spoon? I got a bowl too. You take a bowl? Yeah, we'll take it all. Yeah, please. Come on, let's go. Whatever you got. And then, obviously, the candles started kicking in. And back when she was running the karate school, she was making bath salts, which were very popular. And she made an energy spray. But then what else are we going to sell? What are we going to do? So, in the end, we were very positive thinking people. We believed in the law of attraction, definitely focused on the light. Moved always towards the light in all our decisions. So we called it Light Club, right? But what does Light Club sell? And we added Curiosity Shop because then we could sell whatever we wanted.
It was like an umbrella term for
Yeah.
anything.
Now, I had just closed an art gallery in Beacon. I had a Rolodex full of artists that were available to show some art. The furniture and everything started building up, and we had at least something to get going, right? So it was mid-December when we decided we're going to open our doors, right? This is it. Now, we didn't know anybody in town, but a few people would see us working on the place and stop over, and everybody had their own recommendations and theories, and they're like, you know what? You want to open on December so-and-so? It's probably the worst time to open. It's not worth it. You might want to wait. That was the encouragement we were getting.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we're going to open up on this day. Forget everybody else. It doesn't matter. This is about us. We enjoy it. We like it. And we decided to open our doors, not knowing that it was the day of the Sugarloaf Holiday Festival. So next thing you know, there's like hundreds of people walking around and coming into the shop. It was crazy. It was crazy. So let's fast forward, right, to what makes this day important. So probably we were in business about 7-8 months. And this one here, right, we were only open on weekends. But she made it a point. Every Saturday, sometimes twice a Saturday, and a couple of times on Sunday, she would call me to the front. Can I show you something, honey? Look, I want to show you something. It's outside. Let's go. And she would be like, look at the house. Look at the house. And there was a big for sale sign outside this house. And it was the last thing that I wanted to look at or deal with or anything. But she had this look in her eyes and she just loved this. And she looked at the house, live in Sugarloaf. We're going to live in Sugarloaf. We had a beautiful apartment, this bi-level, just great right on the Hudson River. I mean, in the wintertime, we're seeing eagles roll down the ice on the river. I mean, it was beautiful.
But it was 40 minutes away from
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, keep in mind we still have the full-time jobs. We're settled in our apartment. We got this new business going. She wants to buy a house. And it continues for a couple of weeks. She wants to buy this house, and I just don't want to hear it. And I think it was because I was insecure about, I never bought a house before, but I was also insecure about, the money. Where do you get the money? Who buys a house? We don't have a pot to piss in. We're doing good at the shop, but when I say good,
we're breaking even.
if we made $100 a day, We were thrilled. We were over the moon. We're like, all we need is like 5 more days like this, and we're gonna pay the rent.
Yeah.
This is great. We just wanted to shop,
Yeah.
but it was that feeling of just goodness and happiness, and like we're meeting people and they're coming in, and
And fun.
it was fun. It was fun, right? So then she pulls this fast one, right? Chakra witch over here. She's like, we're not gonna buy the house, but let's go look at it. We just go look. We won't buy it.
I know what I'm doing.
So I'm all for that. I'm like, I'm gonna walk around somebody else's house and just check it out. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. So sure enough, we go over there, and if you're familiar with the shop, and you come in, you got the shop to the left or to the right, but then there are 2 French doors, and so the realtor takes us through and opens up those French doors. Now we were familiar with the shop. The shop is like chaos.
At the time. Yeah.
But to see the inner workings of this house, and when those doors opened, it took my breath away. She was just, oh, she was in love.
I didn't say anything. I looked at it.
I knew you were in love. So she loved it. I loved it. But it was me. I asked the realtor, right? And this guy had the personality of like,
Lurch.
of this can of peanuts. So I was like, how do you buy a house? How do you do it? We like this house. We want this house. So he kind of schooled us and gave us some insight and told us what the deal was. Now, when this house that Light Club is in now, that we live in, right, with Zoltar on the porch, when this house first went on the market, it was like 400,000, right? The barn cider across the street was open, the town was busy, and everything was great. So these people thought they were just going to sell this house and be done with it. They renovated everything. It was beautiful. And then the barn cider closed. And that asking price just started tumbling down and down and down. So that first day when we came to see the house, in the kitchen there were probably 50, 60 business cards from realtors all over the county that had showed
The house.
the house. And they left their mark behind. And this house was supposed to be sold so many times.
They told us when we asked that it had gone through the stages of being sold 6 times before us. We were number 7. 7.
7. So here's the thing. We didn't have a down payment. We didn't have any money.
We had nothing.
We wanted this house. How are we going to get this house? So, Federal Housing Authority, right? FHA loans. Some of you guys are probably familiar, right? 3.5% down. The first-time buyers. All these little tricks and good things, basically. So, we make an offer. At the time we walked through these doors, the house was like $290,000. And we made an offer. We just threw it out there. We were like, $250. Tell them we'll give them $250. We didn't have $250, but we'll get it to them somehow.
Sounded good.
Yeah. They accepted, which was like bizarre to have a house in Sugarloaf like this. That's the magic, right? That's the universe on our side. Could be on your side too. You got to believe and receive, right? So they accepted that offer for $250. And then the ball started rolling. And they said, well, they just need X amount down. And it was nothing that we couldn't like kind of beg or just kind of find and trade. And all of a sudden we put the money down that they needed. Through my job, I had the opportunity to have a lawyer do the closing. So that was free for us, thank God.
The one thing that was a risk, though, however, is that just because we wanted to buy the house didn't mean that that FHA loan was going to be approved. It didn't mean that there were going to be comps in the area. There was all these hurdles, and in the beginning they discouraged us a great deal because they said you could go through all these stages. You could get the inspection, you could pay for all these services, and then find out you're not buying the house and lose all of them. There were things such as the inspection. Okay, we had to pay $2,000 just to have the house inspected because it was commercial property.
Commercial
Everything
property.
was doubled. So little by little, what we ended up doing is just focusing on the individual steps instead of saying, how are we going to get this house? It was just, so we just
Exactly.
focused on one thing at a time. We focused on, okay, let's see about getting the money together for the inspection, getting this done. Let's hope that, we find somebody to do this. Let's hope that it gets approved as a mixed use house. We were even told that we weren't going to get an FHA loan because it was a mixed use and there was no precedent in the bank that we were using at the time for an FHA loan to be approved for a mixed use house.
When
So we sweated it for months.
when they were looking for similar circumstances, right?
Comps.
Comps, they were comparing Light Club, this house, with a mobile station that was being sold in like Newburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made no sense. But that was even better for us because to them we weren't making sense either because we were full steam ahead, right? We would focus on this house so much. We still had the shop across the street, but every day we closed the door, we would walk home and we were studying this house, looking at this house, picking out the curtains, walking up, nobody was around, putting our hands on the doorknob. We would just kind of put our feet on the steps. It wasn't the house we wanted to buy anymore. It just turned into our house, our house. We're going to be home soon. The house, the house, the house. And sure enough, right? I know the story is kind of long, so we're just going to fast forward. All of a sudden, we got approved. We got approved, right? Now, this is what the realtors didn't know was she was burning candles and rituals and prayers left and right. We were both doing it. We were there, and like it was. We put ourselves in this house daily. It just became the we would send them pictures. We would. It was our house. So at the closing, we were so confident that nothing was gonna like be messed up or anything. We drove all our belongings in a U-Haul truck to the closing. And we showed up, their lawyer, our lawyer, the bank, each of them looked at us and said, "We do not know how you did this. We have no idea. But congrats, it's yours."
And it was the quickest closing I've ever heard of.
Now,
It was what? We were there half hour?
yeah, it was good. It
Half
was quick.
hour?
So,
One check? That was it.
what's really cool about this story is that it happened today
4 years ago.
in 2016. We rolled up, so it was technically like the day before New Year's Eve, right? Like we started this year off, like actually 2017
Mm-hmm.
was like day one. Here we are. Some of our furniture is here. We're living here. We slept here for the first night. Like it was a dream come true. And it has to do magic, law of attraction, believing, just taking a stance and sticking with it, becoming undeterred. Just go for it. If you want it, it's yours. If you could believe it, if you see it, you know it, and pretty soon the universe will not deny you. Love.
Mm-hmm. So, the one thing that has always been a tradition, particularly, that's why New Year's Eve has always kind of had a little special energy for us. And the one thing that I feel that really got us into this house is because we were acclimating our energy to it so much. The last thing that I remember doing before we found out that we got the house is I kind of asked the energy of the house, the spirits that reside within, help us. If we're meant to live here, help us get that approval. Help us get in. And the next day, after asking that, the next day we got the confirmation that the house was ours. So, New Year's Eve. See, now the one thing with my husband is that this is going to be the first New Year's Eve in a while that we'll be able to spend together because my husband happens to be on vacation. Typically, he works nights, so we're not together. And so the first New Year's Eve, well, actually, the first 3 evenings in this home, I was here by myself. And so I had to get used to the energy of the house. And on New Year's Eve, I decided I really have to smudge this place. So I came up with a very special ritual to kind of, it was a combination of not just cleansing the energy of the home, but also blessing the energy of the home. And it was just such a profound experience for me. I decided I'm going to do it every year. So I always kind of get everything ready tonight, but New Year's Eve is always the time I do it. So I'm going to share that little ritual. That's what we were talking about when we were saying a ritual. But you wouldn't really understand the significance of it if you hadn't heard how we got there in the first place. So the whole thing with the energies is that I think everybody's always like, oh, we got to get rid of the energy of the whole year, and we got to get this out, and 2020 was bad, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm hearing a lot of people down on 2020, which I understand a lot went on, okay? But we're all here together, okay? We all survived, right? It made us stronger, okay? We lost a lot, but there are things that we have brought back from it, okay? And it's got us where we are today, and it's going to get us where we're going to end up, where we're headed. So that does have to be honored to an extent. And like I said, it got us where we are today. And so when it came time to cleanse the energy of the house, it was really more like I was asking the energy of the house, we're going to coexist together, okay? Let's just keep the energy in that is cooperative, and anything that needs to be released that no longer will serve the energy of this home can go. And that's what I was kind of trying to put out. So every year what I do is I kind of spend some time, I pick out, there's 4 different things that I use because I do it on 4 levels. I use air, fire, water, earth to bless the home. So, but what kind? And there's so many different types of smudges. If you've ever been to our sage bar in the shop, it's ever growing. I think right now we have 8 different kinds. 8. And no, 10. 10. 2 more for Yule. So I spend a couple days thinking of it, and I always decide today what I'll be using tomorrow night. So I'm just going to share with you what we had. This particular sage bundle, this is white sage with dried peppermint on it. We got it in for Yule, but I find it to be very appropriate because, the white sage, of course, for cleansing, but what I like about the peppermint is that there's a real blessing quality to it. It helps to bring in prosperity, newness. It's peppermint is one of those herbs that you can use that's kind of like lavender. It's good for just about anything. As long as your intention is focused, you can use it for whatever means to an end. So lavender's like that, cinnamon is like that, and peppermint. So the white sage with the peppermint, which also gives it this very cleansing, fresh scent to it. So I'm just going to kind of give you a mini idea of what we're doing here. So this is of course, the air. Yeah, I'm going to bring it, there we go, I just wanted to get lit. There we go. And then you say different prayers. I actually, because our house is so big, it usually takes about an hour to smudge, because the one thing that when you smudge, particularly for, it's nice, for an event such as this, something where you're going to be doing annually, the extra special big one, go in the basement, Go up in the attic, the crawl spaces. Go in all of your closet spaces, around your windows, in your corners. Hit everything. Say prayers the whole time. Take a journey all around your home, all the nooks and crannies. Pay attention to everything that you don't always focus on necessarily. Get to know your home all over again. Lavish it, every inch of your home, with your positive intention and attention. So, that's part one. Part two, well, what kind of candle to use? What kind of energy do I want to bring into 2021? Only one answer there that came to mind is, of course, that was very bright, the spiritual cleansing candle. Because, well, first off, it's my favorite candle. And second off, it's just, cleansing, but also in a way to make your spirit a little bit lighter. And it was the same thing. You got to go through the home again. All the corners, all around, bringing in the energy of fire. Kind of burn out that which we don't need anymore, and to transform what's there into something brighter, bigger and brighter for the new year. And then, what kind of water? Do I use rose water? Do I use Florida water? Do I use indigo water? What kind of water? What kind of spray? Okay. There were so many different ones, but I just kept going back to the Florida water, just because we make it here. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a big process of it, and I just remember that too. That too. It smells really, really good. And I remember the first time I started making my own Florida water, and then I finally flicked it instead of the store-bought kind. What a difference, man! It was just such a rush, and I just kind of want to gift that to the home. So the same thing, you're gonna take it, in the water, and then you flick it out, but then you keep some for yourself. And just kind of get the scent out. It's just such a light, fresh, clean scent. Exactly what I want for the new year. And then finally, the salt. I do like to sprinkle it in front of the doorways. But another thing that I do, and I'm doing white salt again, because I think it goes with the spiritual cleansing candle very well. But also, if you put some bowls out of salt, little teeny bowls, at certain areas in your home. I like to do 3 because I'll do it the 3 levels of the home, like downstairs, the basement, then downstairs, and then upstairs. And I'll have 3 little bowls of white salt, because what they do is they kind of catch the negative energy. Okay, so you leave them out for just the transition into the new year, and then I'll sprinkle some in front of the doorways right around midnight. And then when it comes into the new year the next day, I'll just take the salt that I had over the evening, and then they'll just get offered back to the earth. They'll get sprinkled back out upon the earth, probably in our backyard. Usually I like to go around in the fairy circle that I create around Beltane in our backyard, maybe around the maypole. Anywhere that's just a sacred area where you're just kind of leaving behind 2020 and bringing in fresh new year. So I guess that's it. If you have any other questions, ideas, suggestions, feel free to leave a comment on the video.
Yeah.
Let us know how you liked it. We really enjoyed spending this very special day in Light Club history and in our lives with you. So thank you so much.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year. We will not be doing a Friday broadcast because we're just going to take New Year's off. We think you all need to do that as well. We'll take some time off. But we'll be back on Monday for our regular broadcast. We'll be right back into our regular schedule.
Ready to go. 2021.
Yeah. With a lot of new surprises. Even more intention in our videos than ever before. We're going to get our YouTube channel going.
Yep.
Lots of things. So we want Light Club to be better and brighter than ever. And brighter than ever because you are a part of it. So we thank you so much. Be well. Be safe, and as always, blessed be.